Just a short message here. Something that I really felt intensely right now. It's like man cannot escape its own nature, its own destiny, and its own creation. There are many people looking at how the world looks right now, and many of us, I think, we are still trying to delude ourselves to think that there's nothing wrong happening in the world right now. There's nothing wrong with how the earth has been destroyed and completely, let's say, torn apart. There's nothing wrong with how the earth has been treated. And I think many of us still cling to this idea that something will happen, a form or another, an event or another, something will happen, and it will save us, let's say, from the consequences of how we lived our lives. And I can feel the storm building up silently, invisibly. A storm which rises with this type of mentality. Like I am making this recording to announce that at this moment, it's far more healthy to just admit to our own mistakes. It's just this is the moment we are in right now. It's like whomever still tries to cling to any form of delusion, any form of a lie, any form of illusion to try to escape basically the consequences of its own mistakes. It's really going, it's setting itself up for a complete demolition of the proverbial tower one lives in. This is the moment we are in right now. It's like we have to look honestly at our mistakes. This is the moment we are in right now. It's scary to look at one's mistakes. It's terrifying, but we have to go through this stage together. We have to be able to witness our mistakes, our imperfections, our limitations, and our corrupted nature ultimately. We have to be able to witness it and say, yes, I've done the mistake. Yes, I've been stupid. Yes, I've been cruel. Yes, I've been lost. I've lost my path. I've lost my way. Because if we continue to be, let's say, on the wrong path and thinking and still clinging and saying, no, I'm right. You know, I am on the right path. I am doing the right thing here. And we are on the wrong path when we say that. It's like I am telling you, I can feel the storm building up. There is a storm which has silently gained force and momentum, let's say, in the backstage of reality. It's under the ground in a way. I can feel it. It's like standing under the ground, standing like under a bomb of sorts. It's a storm that it is building up. This storm, I believe, if I feel it correctly, it's gonna be completely, let's say, it's gonna leave the people which are here to stand in truth and admit their own mistakes and see themselves clearly for what they are. This storm is gonna leave them untouched in a way. But if anybody is going to still continue living in a lie, and not only that living in a lie, is like promoting, no, this is not a lie, this is a truth. No, I'm not mistaken, I'm doing the right thing. While one is doing a mistake, then that storm is gonna come and it's gonna gonna destroy the entire tower of that person. It's like there is, I need to say this clearly, there is going to be less and less until we reach zero. there is zero, in a way, less and less, and moving towards zero comprehension and patience, let's say, and time left for anybody which is still wanting to live in a lie. And not only that it itself wants to live in a lie, that it promotes a lie and infects others with the same type of, delusional mentality. There is less and less patience, less and less energy, and less will to support that into existence. I'm telling you clearly. It's what I feel within, deeply. So, what we stand on right now is on a path of admitting our own mistakes, admitting our own imperfections, admitting our own weaknesses. When we don't know something, it's just more natural to say, I don't freaking know. When we have been cruel to another, it's just more freaking natural to say, man, I've just screwed up. I've just screwed up. It feels terrible to recognize how weak I am, how imperfect I am, but I've done it, I'm a screw up. It's like I've screwed up this situation, It's just more honest than to continue thinking we were all right and we done, all right to that person. When if we sit honestly with ourselves, we can see when we were just and when we were unjust. So this is the moment we are in right now. It's a complete, true evaluation of oneself. We are being given the moment, like one of those schools or classes in which there is no teacher giving you, a rank or a note. You have to evaluate yourself and say for yourself, how did I perform in this project? How did I perform in this task? This is the moment we are in right now. We are given the time and chance to evaluate ourselves. And if we manage to evaluate ourselves correctly, we are going to smoothly pass into the next stage of existence, which we are collectively under right now. It's a collective change right now, cosmic. It's more than human collective. It's a cosmic, let's say, new era. But it's not new, it's just something more primordial and ancient, which is rising from its sleep right now. It's a reality, it's an entire cosmic reality which is rising up. So right now we are being given the opportunity to evaluate ourselves correctly. To say, yes, I'm great in this, I'm intelligent here, I'm right on with this stuff, but I'm really at fault with that other stuff. I'm really bad in these things. I'm a screw up in those things. I'm a brilliant genius in those other things. It's just we have to be able to assess ourselves correctly. This is the moment we are in. And if we are not assessing ourselves correctly, it's like the tower is going to be, crumbling to pieces. And earth is gonna be, let's say, shaking underneath our feet. But if we are able to assess ourselves correctly, I am seeing that any individual who is able to put itself honestly, black on white, and assess itself correctly, especially assess its own mistakes, its own faults, especially be able to say, I am wrong, man, I've done wrong. I've been, a rapist, I've been a murderer, I've been doing the wrong things. I've been, screwing up. If we are able to do this, I believe we are going to have a much smoother, let's say, path. And a much smoother, let's say, transition, although it's not that type of New Age transition. It's just a much more smoother process onto our true role in the next and the already unfolding new type of existence. We are going to have a much smoother, let's say, entrance towards this new existence, this old existence and new existence, let's say, ancient existence, primordial true existence, which is now unfolding for everybody. But if we are still clinging to stupidity, if we are still clinging to, let's say, arrogance, if we are still believing ourselves, no, I'm like, I know it, I'm good, you know, no, nothing is wrong with my choices, nothing is wrong with how I live my life, no, there's no higher justice, I can do whatever I want in this life, hey, there's freedom, we can choose whatever we want, doesn't matter, you know. If we are still in this type of arrogant, limited mentality and we are clinging to it, I believe the tower is gonna fall really hard for these people. And I can already see, it's like, I can see some individuals in my life is like falling really hard right now. But I can also see how they were given the chance. I can see the signs in their life before they were having it hard. For years they were given signs, but they didn't listen to the signs. So it's time to listen to the signs, and it's time to admit our own mistakes and put ourselves clearly on, let's say, black and on white on the paper, and this is who we are, what we are. This is the time that we are in. And this is the message, like, make the courage. You can do it. Admit your own mistakes. Give yourself time. Stay with yourself 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. Take this year seriously, 2024 right now. Take it as seriously as you can. Give it the most importance, even if you have children, even if you have a job, and you don't have those entire amount in a day in which you sit with yourself and contemplate upon your life and give it attention. Give yourself and your life attention. Even if you don't have this time, even if you might have a job, you might have children, you might have other responsibilities, take moments in the day to give your life importance. You are important right now, and what happens to you right now, it's just unspeakably important. Unspeakably important how you are meeting right now this thing, this unimaginable thing that is happening to all of us. It's unspeakable what happens right now, and you have to be present, you have to be lucid right now. And make the courage, sit with yourself and make the courage to assess yourself correctly and see where you've been mistaking. And I'm telling you, like, where all of us, we have to realize where we've been mistaking is not in our petty, mindset of what a mistake is. It's like, where have you been injuring life? Where have you been going against life? Where have you been, injuring the sacredness and profundity of life? That's what you have to ask yourself. Where have I sinned against life? Not against, I don't know, I just, killed a mosquito by, without even realizing, or I've been bad with that person, or I've been talking shit or whatever. No, it's like the first question that we have to ask ourselves is like, where have I sinned against life? And allow yourself to sit with this question and understand what it means. Where have I sinned against life? Where have I been unjust towards the sacredness of life? This is what we have to ask ourselves right now. And I recommend you do that. And I recommend you do it, because I believe not only that if you manage to do this and recognize for yourself the so-called sins that you've been doing against life, that you will have a much more smoother process into this new unfolding type of existence. Not only this, that you will have it, let's say, better or smoother. No, it's like you will gain a certain quality of, internal, strength. It's like, yes, I am this type of person, and I'm growing within myself the strength to look at myself clearly. If I've done wrong, against life, here it is. I'm standing on my 2 feet and looking at it. And this builds a certain strength that otherwise, if you just wait for the tower to crumble before your feet and to just show you what you are, life is gonna show you what you are eventually. Your tower is gonna fall. The question is, are you willingly stepping and leaving the tower behind, or are you waiting for the tower to be crumbled by life itself? It's a completely different quality of experience. If you're doing it yourself, you are building a certain strength and a certain quality within yourself, which is never gonna be builded if you just wait for the tower to crumble. If you just wait, it's not the same as if you would do and take this strength to look at your mistakes, to look at your fuckery, let's say, at your screw-ups, to look at them willingly. That's a certain strength nobody is going to give you. Not even the tower crumbling is going to give you that strength. So it's not only that you will have a much smoother process into this new existence, this true existence that's unfolding right now, you are also going to have an unmatchable type of internal quality. You will build some quality which you will never otherwise be able to build it in the same way. So this is why I recommend you do this, especially now in 2024. 2024 is extremely a significant year. It's like it might not ever be an year more significant in a way than this 2024 year for doing things ourselves, for taking a responsibility and showing who we are to life itself. This is the year in which we show what we are. This is an extremely significant year. This is when we make our signature. This is when we make our declaration. We show what we are. We state what we are. And what we state in this year is gonna, let's say, create a fingerprint, the signature, almost for our entire existence, next existence. It's important. This year is important. So I recommend you take time for yourself. Even if you have responsibilities, even if you have a job, even if you have children, take time for yourself and recommend and invite others to take time for themselves. This year it's about the self and finding ourselves, finding our true identity, finding the self, finding the true self, finding our true nature. This is what this year is about. Recommend and invite others to do the same. Even if you have children, you have friends, you have lovers, whatever. Tell them to do the same. Because we can only come together and walk this journey together once we found ourselves, our true self. And this year is about finding the true self. This is a sort of like year for all of us collectively to go within. We cannot help each other this year. This year is about finding the self, finding the truth of our core self. Who are we at our core? This is a statement that it is being made this year. So who are you at your core? Find that out. Take time for yourself. This is my recommendation. And invite others to do the same. Stand for them. Help them be themselves. Help them take time for themselves. Support them in taking time for themselves. Stop being so clingy if you are clingy. Let others breathe. Give them time to be with themselves, because this is what we need this year. This year is important for this. If we find ourselves this year, starting next year, we are probably being able to come together. But if we first need to truly find ourselves, and 2024 is for finding ourselves. This is why Chiron and the eclipse was in Aries, which is a sign of the I am, it is the sign of identity. And Chiron was there to break the identity, the false identity, so the true identity can be revealed. This is why Chiron joined the eclipse. This is one of the true significances of this eclipse. So it's 2024, it's the year of who am I? This is what we need to define.